Okay, so this is the 25th, the protection order, that I missed, where I had my rights taken away from me. Everything looks the same as it did on the other one, for the most part, so we're gonna just move on. And I'm gonna read it. The person who filed this petition requested protection for check all of that would apply themselves. And then the next one's like someone else. The filing party has the right to petition on the protected person's behalf because the filing party is a parent, legal guardian, or custodian of the minor protected persons. The filing party is age 18 or older in a family or household member of the minor protected persons. For domestic violence orders only, the filing party is age 15 to 17 and filed on behalf of a minor, family, or household member. The filing party has been chosen by the minor and is capable of pursuing the minor's stated interest in this case. The protected person is a vulnerable adult, and the filing party is the vulnerable adult's guardian, conservator, or legal fiduciary, or whatever, or an interested person as defined by RCW 7105-010-18 or WA Department of Social and Health Services. The protected person is an adult who does not meet the definition of a vulnerable adult, but who cannot file the petition themselves because of age, disability, health, or inaccessibility. Do not check this for vulnerable adult or domestic violence. Petitions. Adult ones. Okay. Warnings to the restrained person. You can be arrested even if the protection person or persons invite or allow you to violate the order. You alone are responsible for following the order. Only the court may change the order. Requests for changes must be made in writing. If you do not obey this order, you can be arrested and charged with a crime. The crime may be a misdemeanor, gross misdemeanor, or felony, depending on the circumstances. You may also be found in contempt of court. You can go to jail or prison, lose your right to possess a firearm or ammunition, and or pay a fine. It is a felony to take or hide a child in violation of this order. If you travel to another state or to tribal lands or make the protected person do so with the intention of disobeying this order, you can be charged with a federal crime. Firearms and weapons. Under federal law, you may not be able to get or have a firearm, other dangerous weapon, ammunition, or concealed pistol license for as long as the protection order is in place, even if the court did not issue an order to surrender and prohibit weapons. 18 USC, whatever that little symbol is, 922G8. Findings. The restrained person had reasonable notice and opportunity to participate. Notice of this hearing is served on the restrained person by electronic service by publication, personal service, which is checked off, other blank, and the service by mail is empty. The restrained person did not have actual notice of this hearing. That's empty. The court held a hearing before issuing this full protection order. These people attended. Protected person in person, and there's like the option in person, by phone, by video. I'm gonna go down this list, which all three are available for. Protected person's lawyer, petitioner, restrained person's lawyer, other. Basis and type of protection order. The restrained person and protected persons are, check all that apply, intimate partners, current or former spouses, or domestic partners. We're never actually dated. parents of a child in common unless child was conceived through sexual assault. Current or former dating relationship, age 13 or older, who have never lived together, live or have lived together. We technically never dated. I don't know why, but if Kim's involved, then yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, the man's crazy. And I don't have an explanation outside of that. That doesn't make sense. Next one, family or household members. All of these are empty. Parent and child, grandparent and grandchild, current or former cohabitants as roommates, person who is or has been a legal guardian related by blood or marriage, specifically how blank. Step-parent and stepchild, parents, intimate partner, and child, they're all blank. Other examples, co-workers, neighbors, acquaintances, strangers. And he wrote acquaintances, which we also used to be neighbors. On a technicality, we could say twice while I was homeless. I was like sleeping outside my job at McDonald's, and then I ended up finding out that he like lived like 10 minutes away, just a couple blocks over, so it's like very extended. But in 2018, he literally lived like 8 minutes down the road, like a distant neighbor. Like he really wasn't that far. So I can also see him not putting that, but we've made comments about that. Kind of like a joke. You can easily move somebody ranks within like moments, I think. So he technically, if he just like blocked me, then we're no longer in contact. And by the time he had placed this, he had blocked me on Instagram after the first initial like phone call to the police, and almost like before the job site. But I couldn't figure out why. Like I just knew something was wrong. He's never blocked me on anything ever. He just calls me out of the blue, drops dead. I call 911, and now this guy just like never talks to me ever again. After he literally just told me that like I'm the last girl he slept with in the last like since 2019, and that he loved me, and I would have never ever done that if he didn't mean that. I'm still the last girl he was with. Like days before, he just like weeks before, like 2 weeks before, he just calls me out of the blue and drops dead. Okay, anyways. Based upon the petition testimony, case record, and response, if any, the court finds by a preponderance of evidence that the protected person or petitioner on their behalf has proved the required criteria for the following protection order under Chapter 7, 105 RCW, check only one. First one, domestic violence protection order. The restrained person has subjected the protected person to domestic violence, physical harm, bodily harm, assault, or the infliction of fear of physical harm, bodily injury, or assault, non-consensual sexual conduct or non-sexual sexual penetration, coercive control, unlawful harassment, or stalking for intimate partners or family or household members only. Okay, so I guess we're out of domestic violence because we never actually dated. Makes sense. We're not related. So, sexual assault protection order. The restrained person has subjected the protected persons to non-consensual sexual contact or non-consensual sexual penetration. Empty. Obviously. That's fucking whack. Next one, stalking protection order. The restrained person has subjected the protected person to stalking. The next one, vulnerable adult protection order. The restrained person has subjected the protected person to acts of abandonment, abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect. The protected person is a vulnerable adult as defined in Chapter 7.105 RCW because the protected person is over 60 years old and does not have the functional, mental, or physical ability to care for him or herself. It is left empty. Is an individual subject to guardianship under 11.130.25 or an individual subjected to conservatorship under 11.133.60 RCW has a developmental disability as defined in RCW 71A10.020. Self-directs their own care and receives services from personal aid under RCW 7439. Is receiving services from a home health, hospice, or home care agency licensed or required to be licensed under RCW 7127. Is receiving in-home services from individual provider under contract with DSHS. Has been admitted to an assisted living facility, nursing home, adult family homes, soldiers' home, residential rehabilitation center, or any other facility licensed by DSHS are all left empty. And I think that would go hand in hand with homelessness, residential rehabilitation, or any other facility licensed by DSH. I don't know if like a shelter is but maybe not. Maybe I'm just tripping and I'm not understanding. It's like the opposite direction. I didn't go into my car trying to avoid a restraining order. That is not why. I already slept in my car. My mom kicked me out like it was right after I got back from Miami. Next one is vulnerable adult objects. The petition was filed by someone other than the vulnerable adult, and the vulnerable adult objects to some or all of the order. The court finds by clear, cogent, and convincing evidence the petitioner established that there is abandonment, abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect of a vulnerable adult, and the vulnerable adult is unable due to incapacity, undue influence, or duress to protect their person or estate in connection with the issues raised in the petition or order based on the following evidence is left blank. Anti-harassment protection order. The restrained person has subjected the protected person to unlawful harassment. No fee required. Stalking, hate crimes, single act threat of violence, including malicious and intentional threat or presence of firearm, weapon causing substantial emotional distress, family or household member engagement in domestic violence or non-consensual sexual conduct or penetration, or a sex offense. RCW 7.105.105.9. Jurisdiction. 6. The court has jurisdiction over the parties in the subject matter. Minors. Washington State has exclusive continuous jurisdiction, is the home state. Has temporary emergency jurisdiction over the children. Temporary emergency jurisdiction. The petitioner has until date blank to return to state/court with jurisdiction blank over the minors to seek any court orders about these minors blank. The Washington order will terminate on that date for the minors. RCW 26.27.231. All left blank. The person who filed is not a parent of one or more children listed above. Important complete attachment A, non-parent. Other findings. Credible threat. The restrained person represents a credible threat to the physical safety of the protected persons. The restrained person is under 18 years of age. The court appointed name blank as guardian ad litem to represent a restrained person in this proceeding. And that's left empty. Did not appoint someone to represent the restrained person because blank, left empty. Other blank, restraints check, all that apply. 8. The court orders to the restrained person general restraints. A. No harm. Do not cause any physical harm, bodily injury, assault, non-consensual sexual conduct, or non-consensual sexual penetration, and do not harass, threaten, or stalk the protected person. The minors named in section 3 above. These minors only blank, and he did the protected person. Okay, check that bitch off. B. No contact. Do not attempt or have contact, including non-physical contact, directly, indirectly, or through third parties, regardless of whether those third parties know of the orders of the order, except for service of court documents with the protected persons. The minors named in section 3. These minors only blank, exception if any, only this type of contact is allowed. Okay. Exclude and stay away. C. Do not enter, return, knowingly come within, or knowingly remain within 1,000 feet or other distance specify blank of the protected person, protected person's school, protected person's residence, protected person's vehicle, protected person's workplace, protected person's adult day program, the shared residence, the residence, daycare, or school of the minors named in the section 3 above. These minors only blank, other blank address. The protected person chooses to check 1, keep their address confidential, blank, list their address here. That's also not checked off, but it is written. And their school, there should be no school, because Lily's not actually on here. So I don't know if that would affect it if I had gotten to keep my rights. Vacate. Do you vacate shared residence? The protected person has exclusive right to the residence that the protected person and restrained person share as listed in the Law Enforcement Confidential Information Form P003. The restrained person must immediately vacate the residence. This restrained person may take the restrained person's clothing, personal items needed during the duration of the order, and the following items specifically blank from the residence while a law enforcement officer is present. Stalking behavior. E. Do not harass, follow, monitor, keep under physical or electronic surveillance, cyber harass as defined in RCW 9A90XXX, or use phone, video, audio, or other electronic means to record, photograph, or track locations of or communication, including digital, wire, or electronic communication of the protected persons. The minors named in section 3 above, these minors only, these members of the protected person's household are all left blank, just him. Intimate images. He sent a fucking dick pic of recent. He did a long time ago. We didn't really do a whole lot of that, so I don't necessarily like sexting. There's like a lot of trust that goes into that. Not that I don't trust him. We have done that, but not many times, and that was stored on Snapchat in 2019, but I don't know. I don't think we saved the images. I don't think I saved them. I made that. He was like chill with it. Intimate images. Do not possess or distribute intimate images of a protected person as defined in RCW 9886010. The restrained person must take down and delete all intimate images and recordings of a protected person in the restrained person's possession or control and seize any and all disclosure of those intimate images. I don't even know why he checked that off. We don't, like, this was filed in 2022. I think that was for my 19th birthday in March. It was in Beverly. I think that's when I went, unless it was in 20, but I don't think it was in 20. Red flag. G. Electronic monitoring. You must submit to electronic monitoring. Restrained person must be age 18 or older. Left empty. Age evaluation. The restrained person shall get an evaluation for mental health, chemical dependency, drugs at blank. The evaluation shall answer the following questions. An evaluation is necessary because blank. Left empty. I. Treatment. The restrained person shall participate in state-certified treatment as follows. Domestic violence perpetrator treatment program approved under RCW 4328-725 at blank. Empty. Sex offender treatment program approved under RCW 18-155-070 at blank. Personal belongings. J. The protected person shall have possession of essential personal belongings, including the following blank. Empty. K. Transfer of assets. Do not transfer jointly owned assets. L. Vehicle. The protected person shall use of the following vehicle: year, make, and model blank, license number blank. M. Restraint. Restrict abusive litigation. Comply with the order on motion to restrict abusive litigation. FL All Family 155 filed separately. And pay fees and costs. The protected person is granted judgment against the restrained person as provided in the judgment PO 005 filed separately. The court finds this restrained person is not under active duty in military or SCRA has been complied with 50 U.S.C. with the special symbol 3931.